Hello everybody. This is the fourth video regarding views. In this video we will learn how to do some animating the views that exist on the screen. Okay. We will be able to do things like this: animate the background color, moving him on the screen, and maybe in another video we'll do maybe some transition, making these things rotate and flip and things like that. We'll start with the first one. So in this video, what we're going to do, we're going to do things like this. So when you click on the clear, they will move and then they disappear from the screen. Okay. All right. Let's go back and look at the project that we had before. This is what we've done. We had, if you remember, we had two buttons. In one button, when you click, you add subviews to the screen, and when we change color, it changes this color randomly. When you click clear, it removes them from the screen. What we're going to do first, we're going to animate that changing the color so it doesn't happen all of a sudden. We want to do it in like an animated manner. So we'll go ahead and start. This was the code that did that animation, or that did that changing the color. What I'm going to do, we leave this as is, and here's that. This is the part that creates the color, and this is where we change the background color. So this is the part that I'm going to animate, changing the background color. To do this, iOS provide some animation tools for us ready to use, and you can use things like this. So if you type in UIView, then you hit animate. The basic animation block is this one here, animate with duration. And what does this say? I'm gonna go ahead and use that. What does this do? I'll explain it in more details here in a minute. This allows me to animate a block of code. Meaning what? You can provide the length of your animation. So you can say, I want to animate for 1 second. Okay, and then you give it, what do you want to animate? Okay, what we're going to animate is right now changing the color. So this is the basic form of animation, and this is a block of code that you can put anything here. You can animate the views. What can you animate in a view? You can animate the background color, you can animate the size, you can animate the frame, what we call the position of that the view. You can do certain transitions. So this is the basic block of animation. So all I have to do is take that piece of code that I had earlier and then just place it here. So now it says for every view in the screen, if it's not a button, create a random color with alpha. Alpha is 1. And do what with it, and then change the background color. And if we run it, you'll see what happens here. You just click, let's say click, click, click here, and you do color. You can see that. So the transition, that is that animation part now, it's not happening all of a sudden. It is happening, it's happening in 1 second. Okay, so this is the first one. The second one, what I'm going to do is that I am going to change this part where we remove the subview. Instead of removing it all at once, we want to animate that part. So how do you do this? I'm going to do this something similar to what we did earlier, but here it will have two parts. One is called animation, and one with animation, and then the other part is removing the subview, the subviews from the super view. So you can do the same thing. UI view dot animate with duration. Now here I'm going to use the second one, animate with duration. It has two blocks. One block for the animation part. The other block is when it's completed. So again, I'm going to make 1.0, and here this is where the part that we're going to animate. I like to do that so it's easy to understand. And this is the part then when it is completed. This is critical. So you do the animation. When it's completed, it calls this code. Now this is a closure. So the closure has a different format, okay, different syntax. So you say here it receives a boolean, and the boolean I'm gonna call it done. And now this is the block of code, or this is the closure that you want to execute. All right. So what we're going to do, we're gonna animate the alpha for the object, and then after that for the subviews, and after that we remove them from the view. So when it's completed, I will remove it from the view. So now the completion is part of what? It's part of the done block. And here, when what we want to animate, we're going to say v.alpha. Alpha. We might have to do casting here. Okay, equal to what? Equal to 0. So we're changing. I thought that. So I thought, yeah, we have to cast it here. So you can cast it in two ways. You can say v as UI view, and then you do alpha like that. That's fine. All right. So it will change the alpha to 0. That makes it transparent. And when it's done, it will remove it. When it's done the animation, it will remove it from the screen. So watch what's going to happen now. If I add views, if I'd say clear, you see that? It changes the alpha first to 0. That means they become very transparent, and now they disappear. All right, let's make it a little bit more fun. I want to also move them to the button that where I'm pressing. Okay, if you remember, we received, this is an action. This action will send us a sender, what means that what I clicked on. So this is a view also. So we want, when we run it, when I do this, when I do the clear, I want them to also move from here to this button, okay, instead of staying in their place. Now, how do you do this? We basically change. I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to change the sender from any object to UI button, okay? So instead of having to recast it again, okay? And then I say here, in the animation block, we say, we need to create a frame. We need to change the frame of the view. And the way we do this, we can say let cgrect, let f equal cgrect. Okay, I'm creating a rectangle. Remember, this is the frame that represents the frame. Okay, the x is going to come from the sender. I'll do it in 2 steps here for you guys to understand. Okay, I'm gonna get the location of that button, which is, we say let x equal, the location of that button is sender dot frame dot origin, okay, and dot x, and let y equal sender again, which is the button that we're clicking, dot frame dot origin dot y. Okay. All right. Now all I need to do is that for that view, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to set the frame of this view to a CG rect containing this X and Y and the size of width of 0 and height of 0. That way it'll make it shrink as it moves. So I'm going to say let V as a view. Again, we have to do this. V as a view. Let's try it without that. Let's say V as V frame equal CG rect. Okay, and then I'm going to give it, just use that. X is the X that we just got. Y is the Y that we just got of the button. And then for the width, I'm going to make it equal to 0. And then I'm going to make that equal to 0. All right. Again, it didn't like that. So we need to cast V as UI view. Okay. All right. Now watch what's going to happen. When you run it, you click on this. When you did clear, they move. Notice they moved, and what? They disappear. They shrink inside and they disappear. All right. That is the end of this video. We'll do another one with more transitions and more animation. Okay, but this should get you started.